Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor and pleasure to be here, although I'm in my own house, but it feels a bit as if I'm, together with you in a virtual Bangladesh, Netherlands environment, and maybe even more. We were just discussing how great these kind of tools are to support exchange and interaction. Last week I had a meeting with a Dutch Netherlands, a Dutch Bangladeshi NGO called Friendship, doing great work in Kurigram, in Gaibandha, on supporting communities to overcome river erosion and drought and flood disasters. And then it struck me, and I thought that was nice as an introduction, how much cooperation there is between our two countries, and at scientific level, at institute level, at private sector level, at NGO level, at personal level. And that leads me to my introduction to our program. And I'm hoping that this works. I'm not all that familiar with Zoom.
It works.
Yes,
Go
we
ahead.
can see your screen.
Okay, great. Right, I'd like to give you a short introduction, and after that, leave the floor to the people that are doing the real work, to the Bangladesh Netherlands Cooperation Program.
Can people put their mics on mute, please? Everybody on mute if you're not speaking.
And what I'll be, thanks, Salim. What I'll be doing is giving you a short introduction in the goals, and inviting you to engage with us and helping us to make our program more responsive and more impactful. But first, a couple of introductory remarks. JCP, Joint Cooperation Program, is a program building on a longer-term cooperation between 4 Bangladeshi and Dutch knowledge institutes that have a similar setup, you could say. There's Institute of Water Modeling, the Center for Environment and Geographical Information Systems, Wageningen University Research, under which a number of dedicated research institutes exist, and Deltaris, a Delta institute to which I belong. We've worked together in Bangladesh and also outside Bangladesh, actually, on typical themes like integrated water resource management, integrated coastal zone management, adaptive delta management. And that brought us together, basically with the background of the Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100, to enhance our cooperation and to make sure that us 4 organizations develop knowledge which is more impactful and closer to the needs of clients. And by clients, we interpret that in a very broad sense. I'll come back to that. Our program is a 4-year program. It started already 2019, time flies. And it is scheduled to run for 4 years. Of course, Corona came in between, so who knows, that may be extended, but with the intention to develop a long-term partnership, and not necessarily a partnership which is always funded by an external agency. But we are very happy that the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and a range of Bangladeshi agencies support us financially, but also say spiritually, in a sense that they allow us to operate. The embassy funds part of our work, and each of the institutes, which are often trusts, or foundations, also contribute to the kind of research. Now, on the pictures, you can see the transition that we've made last year from face-to-face workshop type cooperation, and I could have included some pictures of field visits as well and stakeholder meetings, to the type of online environment in which we do a lot of our work today. And the trainings, for instance, on a specific software or an application or a tool that has an impact in the real world can actually take on place online now and become much more impactful because we can reach out to more people. Right, as an introduction to Joint Cooperation Program, I'll give you a little insight into the kind of projects we do. And the theme is knowledge for impact, not knowledge for science or knowledge for investment. It's knowledge for impact. And under the Joint Cooperation Program, we carry out 6 knowledge projects. And I'll shortly mention them, and 3 of them are going to be the topic of further discussion today. There's Clean and Safe Water, which focuses on Dhaka with the Department of Environment as key client agency. To the right, you can see some pictures of some of the work that we've carried out with CGIS and IWM as Deltares on emission modeling and the kind of impact. I mean, these are real life water quality issues of which Bangladesh will experience more and more as it develops and industry and other sectors become more important. Polders of the Future, for Polder 40.1, in Patwakali, with clients, the Water Board, Agriculture Extension, and the water management groups, so the males and females and agriculturalists and fisher folk that are active in the polder and which want to improve the management of their regulators. There's Go with the Flow, which is quite a technical project, focusing on using both satellite imagery and complicated mathematical modeling to arrive at a better offtake management for the old Brahmaputra. Information for impact and make it real will be discussed during the course of this seminar, so I won't go into detail there. And last but not least, the Bangladesh Metamodel to support the implementation of the Delta Plan, which will also be discussed later in the session. So these are our knowledge projects which underpin the kind of long-term cooperation for impact that we aim for in the Joint Cooperation Program. Now, I'd like to introduce you to our a couple of communication means and invite you to engage with us and reach out and visit. Of course, the website, and you can see a screenshot and the web address on the page. Our Facebook page, a quarterly newsletter which is prepared by Mrs. Sayeda Sonia, and you can see the email address on the screen. And interestingly, the Bangladesh Netherlands Water Youth Forum, a group of some 25 to 30, young scientists and knowledge practitioners of Dutch universities and Bangladesh universities, which work together and develop many more innovative ways of thinking and working than, say, us more senior people do. And Nishal Sarju is from Deltares, and I believe he's also in the call. He can act as an entry point to that. Yeah, so please engage. I'm hoping that these will be shared as well. What I've introduced is the Joint Cooperation Program, Knowledge for Impact. We're keen to reach out and please let us know, how you can contribute and how we can also engage with you more. So I'd like to thank you for your attention to this short introduction. I'd like to thank the Gobeshona organizers for their great preparation and work and giving us a platform. And I look forward to a great session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, William, for your introduction. And we proceed with the program. So I'm now calling upon Mohammed Mustafizur Rahman and Shahidul Hussain for the presentation on the Bangladesh Metamodel.
Shahadat, can you share your screen?
William, can you stop sharing your screen?
I could if I knew how to.
Okay,
here it is.
Already being done.
Good.
Possibly by can you?
Yeah. Can you go for the presentation mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Mohammed Mustafizur Rahman from CGIS, and together with me, Mr. Shahadat Hussain from IWM, both we together to present the Bangladesh Metamodel that we developed for the adaptive delta planning. Shahadat, can you go for the next slide? This is our presentation content. We have major 4 components, content in here, but in here I'm presenting the introduction, the brief introduction of the Bangladesh Metamodel, and rest will be presented by Shahadat. Shahadat next. Already William speak about the JCP Corporation, but in here I'm saying the four institutes are working together to develop the Bangladesh Metamodel. So all resource persons from both four institutes are working together to develop the Metamodel. In Bangladesh, we're also developing our capacity of the modeling, developing the modeling, and both from Wageningen and Deltres is also participate and increase our capacity for developing the Metamodel. Shahadat next. Bangladesh Metamodel is a decision support tool to support adaptive delta planning. It is a integration of the detailed model, but it's not a detailed model. It is also used for the adaptive delta planning, and key stakeholder of the Bangladesh Metamodel is General Economic Division of Bangladesh, General Economic Division of General Economic Division and Ministry of Water Resource and other line agency for their investment planning and integrated assessment of their projects and programs. And the main objective of the Metamodel is to provide the quantitative decision support information for the investment planning of BDP 2100. And we know that we have the 80 projects of the BDP that will quantitative assessment, and we also incorporate the feature project of the Bangladesh Delta Plan, and that can assist through the Metamodel, and it will support the project selection and phasing, and also it compare impact of the different indicators that we select in the Bangladesh Metamodel. There are some number of indicators, state indicator as well as decision support indicator, and we will compare the impact of the indicator, each indicator through the Metamodel. Next, Shraddha. Before developing the Bangladesh Metamodel, it is a long history. First, the blue accounting framework was developed. That is the first concept in Bangladesh, in the blue accounting framework of the Metamodel, that National Water Management Plan in 2004 approved, and after that it has 84 programs, and considering the programs to assist the taking projects during that time, that Deltres and CGS is develop a blue accounting framework is 2004, and after that, that is basically a framework of the model, but it's not a coding, it's not a software, only for the conceptual framework was developed in that time. But after that, during the preparation of the Bangladesh Delta Plan, we developed a prototype Metamodel in 2007. And Bangladesh Metamodel Bangladesh Metamodel is full-scale developing, but it is based on the existing data knowledge and existing detailed model results. It's not a new development, but it's an integration of the different model. It is a collaborative modeling effort. We also meeting with the GED, with the SIBDP to get feedback from them, and also we arrange the user feedback session to get user reaction or user need or user perspective of the Metamodel, and also we did the expert reflection session in different modules.
Shibli, keep your time into account. I think you need to speed up.
Okay, and next slide is very cool. In short, the Metamodel is it is used for the decision-making process, and it is very simplified simulation process, and because it is not a detail, based on result of the detailed model, sectoral model, and it is a wide scope of modeling because it can integrate a number of models. Presently, we're integrate 6, 7 sectoral models, but it can be scope of the other sectoral model can also be incorporated in here. And it is a short calculation time. It's not the model will run in a very short time. It's not takes too much time to run this model, but it is less detailed and less accurate. Not replacement for the detailed model, and it also used for the planning level. And I request to my colleague Shahadat to continue for the rest of the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sibli Bhai, for the nice introduction. I'm Mohammad Shahadat Hussain. I'm working in Institute of Water Modeling as an associate specialist, and I'm also working in the Metamodel development team with Metamodel development team. Now I'm presenting the use of Bangladesh Metamodel. But before use of Metamodel, I just want to give the insight of the Bangladesh Metamodel. So this is the actually Bangladesh Metamodel has 3 main components: engine, database, and dashboard. This is the main engine of the Bangladesh Metamodel. So the Bangladesh Metamodel has a framework. So framework actually control or communicate the every module. Right now, we develop the network module, flood security sanity module, water balance, and agriculture water demand module, and agriculture production module. But we have a plan to develop the navigation module, morphological module, and also the fisheries module. And every module has a 3 main steps: the initialization and do time step and processing. So in initialization stage, actually every module needs some input data. So based on their requirement, they first initialized the input data, and the second step in do time step calculate the output in every time step, and then post processing the output data, and finally keep it in database, and then finally the end user can see the output of the every project condition or scenario from the dashboard. So before calculating the project impact or scenario condition, so we select the major indicator for the Bangladesh Metamodel. So we consider the 2 different type of indicator. One is state indicator and another is a decision support indicator. So based on different scenario and project intervention, model will evaluate or simulate the state of the project condition, and later it can calculate the benefit in terms of Dhaka based on the decision support indicator. So decision maker can easily identify which scenario or intervention or project condition is more beneficial in terms of different aspect. So conceptualization of the Bangladesh Metamodel. So in this slide, actually, I want to try to give the insight the Bangladesh Metamodel. Actually, we consider the every sectoral use of water in our Metamodel. So our calculation point is Upazila level. So we consider the land type based on the flood in 5 land type, the F0 to F4, and we also consider the another land use type, for example, the settlement, forest, permanent water bodies, and river and stream. So every Upazila has a 10 land types, but we further consider the project condition and non-project condition. So actually in every Upazila, actually there are 20 land types. Okay, so finally each of the 20 land types in Upazila is considered a separate balance, and for which each time step the water balance is calculated, and each balance include general and vertical processes, precipitation, evaporation, soil infiltration, and percolation to deep groundwater, as well as horizontal process as local runoff, water inlet or overbank flow, man-made hydraulic structure like main embankment, regulator, irrigation scheme are included and can be operated, as well as non-hydraulic structure as road obstruction, land use with resistance properties are included. So use of the Bangladesh Metamodel. So now I will try to explain how can we use Bangladesh Metamodel, how can we assess the project, and how can decision maker take decision using Bangladesh Metamodel. So Bangladesh Metamodel Bangladesh data plan suggested 4 climate scenario: productive, resilient, moderate, and active. So Bangladesh Metamodel is capable to give an indicative result. It means what will happen after 2030 or 2050 or 2100. So the impact explorer. For example, in Northwest region, we applied 3 different scenario. For example, in base condition, and then we apply the productive 2050, and then we also again we input another climate scenario, resilient 2050, and we can see the crop production in different climate projection. So in the same way, we can also apply the project intervention and can see the impact of the project condition. So we can easily understand the future crop production here. So in base condition, the crop production is increasing, but when we apply the climate scenario, the both climate scenario actually shows the increase of the crop production, but it's less than the base condition. And the Metamodel has also the project explorer. So the end user or decision maker can fill up the project explorer, fill up and for example, the Bangladesh data plan suggested 20 project, or end user can also include the new project condition. And after getting feedback from the decision maker or end user, modeler can run the model and based on their requirement and can evaluate the project considering a different indicator. For example, the Atrai River or Horasagar Basin. The main problem is here, the flash flooding in upstream polder due to the unexpected public cuts. Another problem is downstream polders suffer from submergence as a result of the backwater effect from Jamuna River, and overland flow due to siltation of the main river Atrai and Horasagar, and impeding the navigation and erosion of the river bank, increasing flooding. Okay, so based on this problem, we develop a 4 scenario under the different climate change scenario, and we get the result from the main observation, the negative impact on flooding during the monsoon period due to the backwater effect, and also the groundwater decline per year due to the more water release when we dredge the river, because the base flow are coming faster to the river when we dredge the river. Okay, and none of the suggestion gives more robust solution under the climate change scenario. So present status of the Bangladesh Metamodels. So far, we've calibrated the Northwest region. The model is performed very well in big river like Ganges and Jamuna, and it has less accurate in small river compared to the big river. We are trying to improve the result in small river also. So there are a lot of uncertainty in a small river as a transboundary river. We have a plan to calibrate the whole country and of the 2021, and finally application within SIBDP to select the project for the basin implementation program. And
Shahadat, are you almost complete?
Yeah, this is the last slide, Catherine.
That's
okay.
Great.
Okay, so Bangladesh Metamodel has another major component is Metamodel dashboard. So this is the web-based dashboard. It's used for viewing model result for future decision making. It has several dashboard boards such as Impact Explorer, which support user to evaluate and compare calculated impact of project and programs. Another dashboard, Program Manager, combines information from investment project and showing the project implementation pathway, cost, funding cost, source, and contribution to the Bangladesh data plan goals. So this is the total use of Bangladesh Metamodel. So do you have any questions? Please ask me. Me and Siblibhai try to answer the question.
Thank you very much, Shahadat, for this very interesting presentation. I think it's a lot of information for people, but for giving a direct reaction, we have communicated with one of the users of this knowledge, I think Giyasuddin, you are with us. Can I
Yes.
give you the word to give a short reaction? How is this knowledge useful to you?
Thank you, Catherine. I see you after a long time. Okay. Thank you for hosting this very important event, Metamodel. We can say it's an invention, great invention for Bangladesh Delta Plan. And thank you also, Gobeshona, especially Dr. Salimullah, for having this webinar, worldwide webinar. Thank you very much for organizing this institution. As you have heard now about Metamodel, and Mustafiz has given a short background, and also Shahadat has given the concept of Metamodel, how it can be used. As a user, I am a user, and you see it's a bit background that when we prepared National Water Management Plan in 2000, then we felt that National Water Management Plan has about 84 programs. So we felt that we need some tools to to evaluate these projects. That's why blue accounting framework has developed during National Water Management, or in Bangladesh, National Database and National Data Base. But we could not use it at that time because of time constraint. Now, when we started preparing Bangladesh Delta Plan, we have collected about 500 project concepts, and then you see, and we finalized 150. Then we needed a tool again to evaluate these projects, not only technical, socio-economic, and environmental side. And then we felt that this tool should be developed and further advanced, and that this project was taken at the Metamodel. And Bangladesh Delta Plan, it has been approved by the government in 2018. Now another project has been started as a support to implementation of Delta Plan in 2018. And we are now trying to update in the Delta Plan, we have given 80 programs, and we have just given a project portfolio for 8 fiber plan, about 47 projects. So we felt it necessary that for the policymakers, how to evaluate these projects. So I see that this Metamodel will help the policymakers to have a better understanding about the project's performance, and they can put these projects in the budget, in the 5-year plan cycle or annual development plan. So it will be a great help for policymakers to make decisions. But it will be not only used by policymakers, as Shahadat has shown. We have already started a project in Northwest region, the Cholon Bill. And there are the many alternatives which project should be considered. One project was dredging the Atrai River, and Metamodel helped us to have an exercise of giving variant depth of dredging. What will be the consequences? So this model has been developed, and we found that it can be very much useful for the users, especially the water resource planner, also in the water development board or LGD, where they go for project planning and design, they can use it. So I feel that this tool will be very helpful for us in preparing further updating Delta Plan, and also when our engineers and planners and others will be designing the project, the feasibility, pre-feasibility level or pre-feasibility level, it will be helpful for them.
Thank you very much, Giyasuddin. I think there is a small glitch in your connection. But we got the message loud and clear. You feel it useful for policymakers to have a better understanding when planning for future projects. Okay, as I didn't see any question in the chat, I quickly move on to our second presenter, and I'm welcoming Rajimul Karim, who will tell us more how you can have this Delta plan in your pocket. Rajimul, the floor is yours.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes. Can you see my screen?
yes.
Okay. Thank you. This is the presentation. I just give it for information for impact, the awareness creating for Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100. I am K. Rajimul Karim. Thank you for presenting me to this presentation behalf of Mustafizur Rahman Shibli Bhai and Catharien ma'am. I would like to show my screen in presentation mode. So I will give this presentation in four things: that background, objectives, and information, thematic area, and impacts. I would like to give about the background of the knowledge hub in a handy instruments as like a smartphone. We are thinking about the knowledge, how we knowledge share in a smart way, that is a smartphone. This is the way people can share their knowledge to each other in a smartphone. We are just making a user friendly application that people can access their information which is more relevant to their research work or anything else. They can use by the smartphone. This is mostly the background of the mobile app, and this is involved with the CEGIS and Wageningen University and Research. And the objective of the knowledge app is mostly the planning for the and planning and making decision for the adaptive data management, and to facilitate information with using the smartphone as well as the smart device, which can we share our knowledge in a smart way, and we can demonstrate and disseminate with the public user or its stakeholder for a easy way. This is our objective, and mainly we are focusing that how people can access knowledge with a smart device. This is the mobile app. We can find it in our Google Play Store. We can go through the this link, and we can download the Google app in this Google Play Store. This is our first glimpse of our knowledge app. The knowledge app just preview the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, the message from her, and then we go through the start of our knowledge app. This is a smart app, and we just use the icon and menu based app, and we use the basic information from the knowledge portal, and it must be a location based, specific location based knowledge app, and we can go for any knowledge with the special portal, and we can use the knowledge from a smart way that is much more convenient for the people who are interested to get knowledge in a smart way. And this is our thematic area. We just see that 7 criteria thematic area in this knowledge app. Firstly, the Delta Plan 2100, water resource, agriculture, environment and disaster, socioeconomic, spatial planning and land use, as well as the climate. And this is our knowledge from Delta Plan. We just get from the app as in Delta scenario or anything about the knowledge Delta Plan 2100. We can get it from our app. And this knowledge app is mostly shows in key facts. We are just feeling this thing in a nice way, and we can see the knowledge, and you can see the thematic area or anything else that in a colorful and nice way. Information for Delta Plan, we will see the in labor force and GDP, and it is a nice scenario captured in this app. We will see in the graph mode or pie chart with tables. Then we can export it from our social networking site or anything else. Okay. This is our next thing, that investment project, which is in plotted in Google backend in Google Map, and this is a map based information. And we just found it in our app that it contained 80 project and 65 physical structures project and 15 institutional and knowledge development. This information is based on location based, and we will see in the app in an easy and handy way in this app. As water resources, we have lots of information in water resources, as like groundwater zone, salinity zone, major flood zone. It is easily handy and reliable source from the Bangladesh Delta Plan. And as well as we can see the water board projects. It will appears in a nice way. When we see this in app, we just click it and pop up it with a specific location. And this is nice mode, and we can use it is a freely use it nice in specific location. Agriculture is our another thematic area. We will give some information which is much more attractive for the people who are engaged in agriculture, as like drought information, crop suitability, fish production, crop calendar, as many like of this information, and we will get it from this app in a nice way. Environment and disaster, we can find it in our app, nice visualized information system, as like river erosion and accretion, natural hazard, flood extended map. We can get it as a GIS view, and as well as the JPG mode. Then people can see the map in a nice confirmed map with Bangladesh Delta Plan from the Bangladesh Delta Plan, and is a GIS based map that people can get easily information with their specific location. As socio-economic is our another thematic area, people can get information from population distribution and density, and household income, poverty, sectoral employment, as like household information. We can get it from knowledge of as tabular mode or graph and chart, and location based information. We can share our information from this app into Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and share it. As we are thinking about, we can export the knowledge from this in our in any report after our second version or first version. We will plan for another theme that people can share it, and people can get information with share with their report or anything else. And I just go for our last slide, my last slide, how it impacts in our knowledge. Easy to get information. This is the main point of knowledge app, because people can get information in easy way. People can get information in handy way. People can get it in a mobile app. And strength for the information and knowledge service is much more reliable for the people who are engaged in the knowledge, who are capable for the knowledge to think about how people can get information in a small and reliable source. And this is our another impacts that enhance the capacity for the user, planners, researcher, and decision maker. That people can enhance their capacity from this knowledge, because this information is much more easier to people can get information is a small place, and reduce the cost and time for this knowledge app, because if you get in your handy device, that it must be reduce your cost and time required to accessing information is a small way. And we can get it knowledge app and awareness. People can get adaptive data management process, how delta plan works. It can get information, and people can get aware of this knowledge information in small place in handy way. This is, I think, this is the most effective for the people who are interested to get knowledge in small handy way. And thank you from myself and Shibli Bhai, Catherine, ma'am. Please, if you get any question, please, I will answer, and Shibli Bhai and Catherine ma'am will support me, I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajimul, for a very interesting presentation. And if people now might wish to also get this knowledge app into their pocket, it's in the Google Play Store, right? Any questions? Are there any questions in the chat? I'm not seeing any questions so far, but that may be coming. Rajimul, is there any of your users who will give a reaction?
I think Shibli Bhai will answer this question.
Okay, Shibli, do you know?
Uh, sorry, Catherine, at this moment, there is no user reaction in
Okay.
here.
Okay, no,
But
that's fine.
any participant can, if like to give their reaction.
Yeah, that's
Anything
also
else?
fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, then we can see that in the chat if anybody wants to react from the user side. If anybody already downloaded the app and has good.
Can I supplement something to
Yeah, you
this?
can have a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we are developing the app. Still, it is in the developing stage, and we already incorporate the all delta plan related information available in the delta plan reports that we incorporate. It has been done. So that I'm mentioning the information, whatever the delta plan have, that has been incorporated, and the user like GED and other who are involved in the delta plan or implementation of the delta plan, or any stakeholder or any researcher were involved in the exploring the information of the delta plan, they can use it, and they can get easily get access of the information of the delta plan. That I'm saying. So I request to you all to use this one, and if you feel any feedback, give us to you, us how we improve that one and incorporating more information in future. I hope so. Thank you very much, Catherine.
Okay, thank you very much. In the meantime, there was also a question about where to download the app. If you Google BDP 2100 CGIS WUR in the Google Play Store, you'll find it. So please try.
And Catherine, if anyone go to the Google Play Store and just write the Bangladesh Delta Plan, they can see the app icon and easily they can download.
Okay. Yeah, so whatever way, please go ahead and find it there. And Shibli or Rajimul, if you can post the link in the chat, that may also be helpful for people.
Share the link in chat box. You can get it from the chat box.
Okay. Oh, you already put it there. Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, then we are moving on to our third and final speaker with a presentation, Judith Schnedler from Wageningen University and Research, and she will tell us more about whether we will have enough water for our food in the future. Judith,
Yes.
please go ahead.
Thank you, Catharien. I'm trying to get it in presentation mode.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Is it now full screen?
Yes, it is full screen.
Yeah, thank you, first of all, that we have the platform to actually present our nice project. So thank you for that. Yeah, well, our project is called the Water Food Nexus, Make It Real. So it's a collaboration, of course, between all the 4 partners, but in this project, mainly CGIS and WUR are active here. So first I will give you a very short background. As you all know, the water resources are declining and Bangladesh is a fast growing population. And therefore you also have a fast increasing need for food. So more people need more food. Yeah, this is logical. So, and while these developments are happening, the climate is also changing. So the water resources are becoming more unpredictable. So you don't know when the water will be available to you. So then the food demand drives the agricultural demand for the water. So in conclusion, we can say there's more mouths to feed with less land and unpredictable water resources. Thus, we need a current agricultural production will need to transform to meet the future food demand. So this is a little bit of background. Then we move on to our main question is how can Bangladesh feed itself in the future with available water? So this is the big question we try to answer in this project. And the goal is here to establish the current and future water and food need, taking climate change, land use change, and transformation into account. We also have some specific objectives. So I will briefly highlight them, but I will not go into detail because of time constraints. So the first one is to understand the current water availability and food demand. So very much understanding the current situation. Also with understanding the relation those two have with each other. And then we move on to the future. So then we want to see if there's a gap and how that gap could develop. And also we want to create awareness of this gap and also increase the capacity in using models. So this is a very brief what we would like to do. I understand it's a lot of text, so I can share the presentation later. So how are we going to do that? We have 4 years, as already mentioned. So what are we planning to do in those 4 years? Year 1 was, so year 1 already finished. Year 1 was on focusing on determining influencing factors. So the influencing factors mean that influence the question of the future water and food needs of Bangladesh and building our approach. So how we're going to tackle this question. Year 2 was last year. So then we're trying to explore the different quantification methods, which is mostly models, and also building the capacity to do the modeling. Year 3 is now, 2021 is year 3. And we're here now, we're going to refine those calculations and build capacity to think about future scenario calculations and also be able to handle that with the models. Year 4 will be on the coupling of the global model outcomes to the field skill level outcomes. Okay, so this will be briefly how we will try to answer the question. So we have some preliminary results. So what happened in year 1? As you can see there, we visited many people and asked them many questions regarding how they think the water demand will be influenced. So we talked with many people with a lot of knowledge. So, and also we did a group session in the Dhaka Water Knowledge Days, which you can see here. We identified with the participants the factors that will be influencing that question. So you can see here population growth, water availability, land use change, cropping pattern change, how important it was to the participants of the Dhaka Water Knowledge Days. So many people thought that population growth was a very big influencer on the future water and food demand. This is year 2. As you can see, these are still very preliminary results, so the official report will be finished soon. And these just give a little bit insight of what we have been doing. And also, we have been doing one workshop and one training. There's a snapshot of the participants that were attending that training, and the training was about the Swab-Woffels model. So what is the Swab-Woffels model? It's a field scale level model who can help us relate the water to the crop. So the water to the food, actually, you could say. And you see many graphs here, which were produced during the workshop, but it's not important that we go through the graphs one by one. But it's important to see that you can do a lot with the Swab-Woffels, and we can calculate for different hydrological circumstances and also different types of salinity, how it will influence the rice production or other crops production. So this is for year 2. So, and now we're in year 3, so we have to produce more results, and the last year also. So if you have any questions or would like to have a follow-up there, you can always email me or Rashid. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Judith. This is an interesting story. But I think I better ask to Dr. Akram how this is interesting for him, because he's here with
Hi.
us.
Hi, Miss Captain. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Hello.
There is a lot of
Yeah.
background noise. Is that with you?
Yeah. Okay. If you can hear me, it's okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
No, okay. Actually, the water and food nexus, Bangladesh is a riverian country and also a country of water. But we are sometimes unlucky about the water. It harms our crops, our lands, our livelihoods, and damage many infrastructures every year. Actually, the management of the water is a very big issue. We have water in the wet season, a lot of water, but in the dry season, the scarcity of water. And the climate changing issue is now is a burning issue, and the effect of the climate change in Bangladesh, we are is a most vulnerable country over the world. In this regard, this project, Water and Food Nexus project, it will help full, and they are doing very well, and they already arranged the online workshop training on soft first model about how to we can determine the crop demand, water demand of different and salinity areas, also their concern, and drought also. So in this regard, we should establish a very good relationship with water and food, because the Bangladesh is a very most populated country, and we have to feed our people and with efficiently management of water. But we have some problem in the coordination of the different interventions. How we can integrate the agriculture and water together and combine together to fulfill the future water demand in crop production. So this kind of project and this kind of knowledge project will be helpful for us in future water demand analysis and to fulfill our food security in our country. So this is from me. Thank you, Catherine and Judith, for her nice presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Akram, and thank you for kind of your clear reflection, how this is important to you,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the modelers can always model more beautifully, but if that knowledge is not used, then it will be of no use to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions in uh, the
Thank you,
audience?
Catherine.
Thank you. Are there any questions in the audience for Judith about her presentation? And Dr. Akram, may you kindly mute yourself?
Just
Yes,
I
please.
have a question. In this knowledge program, we are developing the water food nexus and as well as the future demand of different crops in our country. But if we can find out the if it's possible to integrate in this program what is the bottlenecks in our country to combined or coordination in the water food system and to determine the area specific water demand. It would be helpful for our country because the water demand is different in different areas in different hotspots in our country. You know.
Yeah, I think that's a very relevant remark. Judith, can you say something about how that is included or in your program already, or will it still be something you will be working on? Can you say something about that?
Yes, thank you. It's a very interesting and nice question. Thank you for asking it. So what we try to do is to work with cases. So we have one case in the Barent area. So in this regard, we asked many stakeholders in year one how they feel about the future water and food demand in the Barent area. So then we highlighted several influencing factors such as groundwater use, also growing population, land use change that will influence the question. For the Swabovos case, we move to the coast. So this is again a different situation and also shows different type of results. So in the end, and we are next to this, we are working with a global model. It's called Global LPAML, which can say it can say globally something, but in this case, can say something about national scale and also even on regional scale. However, we need to mention, of course, that when we downscale it, that information will be lost, and also things need to be taken into consideration. So that's what we are doing, and the Swabovos is a field scale level model. So then we build from the field scale, we can upscale it. So we have two models going up and down, as you would say, verifying each other or maybe contradicting each other with certain observations. So in this way, we try to develop an area specific, even a field specific, but also a country skill, which is a very challenging thing to do because you need to connect different skills in different areas. And this is why we will focus in year 4, so the last year, to how to move from the skills up and down. So I think this will also then help us answering for the area specific answers.
Yeah, for the water demand.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Judith.
You're welcome.
Those who want to know more, we will send you our newsletter, so that will also give you possibilities to link and to know more. Judith also gave her email address, so you can mail her. as well as that we will be updating our Facebook posts also regularly when we have new knowledge to share with you. Thank you very much for that. And also a special thanks to Dr. Akram for indicating how he uses that knowledge and that he would like that bottlenecks are integrated and that area-specific water demands can be made available, the information. Okay, in the chat, are there any questions for our about the 3 different presentations? I'm not seeing anything popping up there, but in case you want to ask some question, feel free to put your question there. And then if I'm not seeing them, I'm just kind of continuing. Then I'm going to ask Dr. Farhana Ahmed of CGIS to kind of summarize for us on this Making Delta Knowledge Available session. Dr. Farhana Ahmed, can you unmute yourself, please, and you put your video on?
Thanks, Catherine, for giving me this opportunity to summarize this session. My voice sounds a little husky because I've got a cold, little cold. So I'll just briefly summarize what has been happening for the last 1 hour. A joint session organized by under the Gobeshona platform, and I would like to thank Catherine for organizing this session on behalf of JCP, and I would also like to thank the organizers, Gobeshona especially, for giving us this opportunity to present the JCP program. First of all, as you have heard that William Olimans, our team leader, has explained what is the purpose of this program, that is the sharing of knowledge between Bangladesh and the Netherlands, and developing knowledge, new knowledge that is there on water, climate change, food security, especially agriculture, focusing on agriculture, and also on other aspects like water related hazards. So focusing on all these issues, and also water quality is also a vital issue. Focusing on all these research elements, the Joint Cooperation Program is moving forward, conducting different research projects, mainly 5 research projects, and an application-oriented tool development, which is a Metamodel, which will integrate the knowledge developed in all the 6 research projects and will accordingly provide outputs for decision makers, mainly who will be responsible for the implementation of the Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100 investment projects. So the presenters, that was the first presenters, that is Mr. Safizur Rahman Shibli and Shahadat Hossain of CDS and IWM, very nicely presented the Metamodel and different modules that is part of that Metamodel, and how this module, like including flood module, water network module, and the agriculture fisheries module, navigation module, how different modules are being used to develop this decision making tool, that is the Metamodel. And then they have also shown how these are being integrated with the different input data that we have available from different agencies, and this in a way will help us select priority projects for implementation. We already have a list of projects on the Delta Plan, but Metamodel will help us, will act as a pre-feasibility work. It will help us select the projects for prioritization for implementation. And then we have the nice presentation on the knowledge app, that is a tool, mobile-based tool application, I would say, that you can download in your mobile, and within your hand you have the whole Delta Plan in your hand, and easily you can extract all the information that is available in the published Delta Plan document, and can go through them and can be useful for your Delta Plan related activities. So it is a very handy tool that is being developed again by the JCP team, and thanks to Rajimul Karim for presenting it, and Wageningen University CJS jointly is developing that. It's a very nice tool to have handy in the mobile. Then we had a very Judith very nicely presented what is the output till we have for the water agricultural food nexus, in which we are trying to see how the food security can be achieved, especially focusing on rice cultivation, and to see how for different climate change scenarios what will be crop production and how it can be maximized within the different scenarios, and how it can achieve the food security. So we had a very comprehensive presentation in a very short session. I would say it very briefly. Everybody presented their topics, and if given the opportunity in future, other research components may as well be presented. But again, before and also I would like to thank the user reflection from Dr. Akram, who nicely pointed out the maybe the demand or the need to further develop this agriculture food security food nexus module, the project that we have, and how we can further develop it. And therefore I would like to thank all the presenters, and I would hope that in future we can also have further collaborations and more research topics to work on, and with the feedbacks from the users and the feedbacks from the implementing agency and other partners, we will be able to produce very nice feedbacks and very nice results that can be used for the implementation of the Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100, not only Delta Plan, but also for other water related projects, water and agriculture and climate related projects and activities to develop the resilience of the country, and also look at further future new projects to formulate. Thanks everyone. Catherine, you are muted.
Sorry, this is so obvious mistake that everybody does. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you very much, Dr. Farhana Ahmed, for your clear and concise summary for the about this session. There's just one thing I just want to check. Nishal, are you still around? Because as there is time, and as William mentioned, the youth forum, I thought it might be nice if you could just in a few minutes say something more about the youth forum. Is that a possibility for you, please?
Yeah, sure, Catherine, sure. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm not allowed to share my video, I can see, so I'll just do it by voice. The Bangladesh Netherlands for the Youth Forum was a initiative which we set up at the end of the Dhaka Water Knowledge Days. It was together with all the 4 organizations, and what you could see during the Water Knowledge Days that there was a lot of young people, young researchers, young knowledge practitioners were there, and there was a high need of collaborating further with each other. So in that essence, we thought, hey, it's good to have this prolonged. So we set up the forum, and we already had one activity, which was mapping the dikes in a couple of polders in Bangladesh. I think we had around 30 or 40 participants. The results are very nice. They're available on a website. I will share a link with you. And our plan is to have many more activities, capacity building activities, knowledge sharing events, through online methods, or maybe also when we're allowed to do it in Bangladesh or in the Netherlands. We now have, I think, around 50 to 60 members, and it keeps on growing. So I will also share in the chat we also have a Facebook page, and we also have a LinkedIn page. So I'll share that, and please feel free to follow us, to share it further in your network, and enable us to also help in the development and the further implementation of the Bangladesh Delta Plan and other water-related resources.
And Nishal, if anybody wants to join, what do they need to do?
For now, please do. It's very simple. Please leave a message on the Facebook page or send me an email. We'll make sure that you're joined.
Okay, thank you very much for that quick contribution on the spot.
Thank you.
And a very open and inclusive approach for young researchers on Delta issues. If you want to join, drop a message to Nishal or leave a message on their Facebook post, and it will be shared with you in the chat. And also at the end of this session, we will collect the email addresses from the organizer to send you the presentations, as well as this linkage to the youth forum, so that you can follow it up. You can also find messages about this session in the JCP Facebook site, which we will be posting after the session. Then we are kind of nicely within time, not making your eyes more square than they are already with all your hours online. We are going to close the session nicely in time, and thanking you all very much for your interest. I'm saying goodbye to you all. Thank you very much. Bye for now.
Thanks very much.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Catharien, for
Thank you,
sharing.
Catherine.
Bye-bye, and thanks, Catharien, and everybody else.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye bye. Thank you.